this is something that very, very hotly contested online. And there are people who often have opinions on this who don't really know what they're talking about. So I'm going to break this down for you really, really quickly. If you get into modeling or you want to get into modeling, you are going to need to have a professional folio. Now, it should seem fairly obvious, but people want to see that you can actually take editorial level photos or campaign type photos. They're going to expect that you do that. Some agencies will cover the cost of that folio and then recoup those costs later. Now, the way it tends to work is, so if you're on a development deal with an agency or things like that, they will pay those fees for that folio, and you will pay them back plus a margin. If you leave the agency, you owe that money to them. So you're not just, it's not like a risk-free situation. If you leave the agency, you owe that money for that folio if they cover the cost. If you procure that folio yourself, then you obviously don't owe your agency any of those costs. We don't offer development deals like that. Honestly, it's logistically, it's just a little bit challenging. You can go out and get your folio elsewhere, no problems. Or if you use the vendor partners that we recommend, you get a discount, and we do not get a referral fee for doing so. But we are an investor in one of our photography partners. So obviously we do see sort of some benefit from that side of things. But you're going to have it. These misconceptions of people who take a selfie, that's not a modeling folio. And obviously some people who come with there might be sort of influencers or things like that. Well, that's cool if the content, it could be used as a folio. Now, obviously, as you start to build runs on the board, you're going to put your commercial work and the work you've actually done in the editorial into the mix. And then, and that's basically how you're going to sort of run that through. And so basically you're going to put those in, and then eventually, hopefully you've replaced your folio with commercial work in terms of your book. If you're interested in acting, there are costs involved as well. So you're going to need headshots. You need professional quality photography. Now, we've got multiple agencies, but if you're looking at this for your child, well, what's the reason that they want to see their professional headshots? Well, ultimately, if your child hasn't got any experience or has limited experience, they want to see that your child can do this in a professional environment. It's all well and good that you've gone to a barbecue and taken 90 minutes to get a great photo of your nephew or niece. But can they go in and get those photos taken in 5 to 10 minutes at a studio after hair and makeup is completed? So they want to see that they've done a professional sort of type of thing. So you're going to have to pay for those, and you're going to have to pay for them as required. Your baby is going to need photos probably every 6 months. Your teen is probably going to need them every 14 months if you're lucky. So you have to do those things. And those costs, you can, in my firm specifically, you can get them separately, or we can arrange that for you, but you have to have them. It's weird when I see people saying that agencies pay for that. That's not the case. There are agencies that do development deals, but I've already sort of touched base on this. Those development deals, you still owe the business the money for that. You're just hoping that you can recoup those costs out of the work that you book. And that's not always the case in entertainment. The other thing that you're going to need is talent portals. Now, in Australia, there's now 4 major talent portal tools. And so you've got Casting Networks, which is the biggest in Australia, and they're a global platform for, and so there's not a single talent agency in Australia that is not going to expect you to have Casting Networks. Then different casting director clients use different tools. So you've got Showcast, you've got the new players called Casting App and Altai. We were actually in the process of building a tool as well, but now that there's so many players in market, we've opted to not do so. But those tools all charge per user, and the agencies don't cover that. That's your prerogative to do so. Obviously, if you're booking lots and lots of work, the agencies may start to pay for that for you. But if you're just getting started, you are going to have to pay those costs. And that there's not many agencies that are going to do that for you. And we're no exception. Now, obviously, if you've started to work, get lots of work, then the agency will be like, okay, we're making plenty of money on commission for this person. We will cover those costs. And that sometimes we apply that to headshots and things as well. This is really important to note. Now, you see online people like, oh, agencies don't charge a fee to be in. Well, that's true, but there are costs involved. And if you choose to get us to do them for you, then yeah, you're going to be paying for those. If you go out and secure them independently, then we don't forward those costs on. But there's misconception, and you see this sometimes where people are on Reddit like, oh, agencies pay for the fees and they pay for the photography and they pay this. It's like, not really. I mean, if you're on a development deal, then yes. But to be very, very clear, we are only picking the absolute best of the best of the best of the best people to put on development deals. Why? Well, because we're forking out significant sums of capital and training and development for those people. And we have to be very, very sure that we're going to recoup our costs. It's just an obvious thing, right? Like, we're not going to offer development type of opportunities for absolutely everybody, because not everybody's at the sort of same level. Some people are coming to us and they've already got lots and lots of experience. They still have to have professional headshots and portals. And some people have no experience, but we think they've got a lot of potential, and they're still going to have those things. So there are costs involved. Now, in terms of reels, there are companies that just do reels for actors to give them exposure and experience that are very, very expensive. I personally kind of waver sometimes between whether you need a reel or not. But what you absolutely critically have to have is a chat to camera. Something similar to this that I'm doing right now, where you're talking about all the opportunities that you have, all the things that you have and all the skills that you have and things like that. And I think that you need to know those things as you're getting involved. The analogy I use is, okay, if you go to play a sport, do you need equipment? Yeah, but no one seems to question that you need a soccer ball and shin pads if you go play soccer and a uniform. But they do seem to run into kind of weird sort of, and obviously at an amateur level. So, and let's be real, if you're just getting started, you are at an amateur level. Even your aspirations are to do this professionally. So it's really important to sort of know that there are costs involved, and those costs are usually forwarded onto the talent by the agency. I'm really, I champion this in terms of understanding the transparency about the industry. And we really hope that you're getting a lot more about these questions and answers from us. If you do have any more questions from us, please do contact us. I'm happy to answer these, as I mentioned. But in this one specifically, I just felt that it was a really good sort of one. People ask about it, and they like more clarity on what's actually involved. And so we're happy to answer that for you. I hope you have a great day. You're enjoying this summer. Peace.